Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Al-Farghani Egypto-Sogdian series here on the Lord Master channel. And I'm so happy because of the last episode, which a lot happened. We reclaimed Tripoli, which in turn that means we have control of this part of the Trans-Saharan trade route, giving us a bit of income thanks to this trading post here. And now as we go to that side, over on the Western Desert, we initiated our own Western Desert campaign. We defeated all of my relatives that held Derna, Algila, and Tobruk, and then we marched towards Alexandria, taking Salome, in which eventually we reached and fought the armies as far down as Siwa, where they made their last stand. And then we turned northwards, and then we reached Alexandria. But look at the development. 17. This is a far desirable place for me. So we fought a long war, but that offensive war opinion will go down, because it's time for peace and prosperity. And yet compare that to our old home in Sogdiana of its development. Not even the most developed territory, Samarkand, can even compare to Alexandria. It's similar to Nicaea, which is where Cairo is. You have now entered into the fertile lands of the Nile. But as we know, as I'm a man of stewardship education, so you could say as an enterprising Sogdian myself, I mean, more opportunities in Alexandria, whereas living in mainly Buta Berber country is kind of a bit restricting. And also we introduced the Sogdian culture here, because I told the steward to say so. I made it so because of a possible idea that we may implement, but I think I found an alternative, which I don't know if I'll implement this during the reign of Khosrow or in future generations. But I decided to introduce the Saudi culture there just to simulate the fact, in the sake of role-playing, that that ever since we kept inviting Sogdian nobles and a few women over here, now it's become a minority in this part of the world. Though still living next to Berbers, so therefore it feels a little more like home. Except it's by the sea, and the Sogdians have never seen the sea before. Except I read one time about that there were Sogdian seafaring traders. It happened down in Gujarat, which is also a main trade hub for the Indian Ocean trade, which is something that Sakatra tends to partake. Which they do have their maritime trade thing. So West Saharan trade, Sakatran, trade goods. So that's just one example. Cosmopolitan ports, which increases the chances of Bawaji hardcore to spawn Sakatra, and they can spawn in non-Sakatra ports in the Western Indian Ocean. As well as unlock character X to present skilled Silk Road entertainers to other rulers, just like us. Spice must flow there, which they can reinforce relations with the Silk Road communities more than once in a lifetime, if they have a territory all away from Sakatra. Like say if they were in India, then they're allowed to do that. And they can build an Indian Ocean pirate den, if none exists yet in the territory, as well as to collaborate with the Indian Ocean pirates. This is for more diplomatic range and reinforced relations to Silk Road communities twice as long. And the last one unlocks the final building in the Indian Ocean Pirate Den building chain. That's from his dynasty, keep that well in mind. As he is a Bedouin rather than a Madri, that culture was supposed to be Yemeni, yeah, Yemeni. Again, this is due to, I guess, this is a bit of a thing between rice and Muslim enhancements is the reason why it's so different. These Quranists are struggling still. And I was thinking about the possibility of using the Quranist faith for possible use. But lately, due to me being interested with the whole Trans-Saharan thing, and also being the owner of Siwa, and look at this. The Oracle of Amun you can construct. You can do that if you have this high amount of money, despite the original base cost, which was originally 2,000. But cutting cornerstones, being a steward, and as Saharan nomads, as the Butir live there, the Amazigh people. But you cannot build it yet because 1, you don't have enough money, and 2, you have to be a pagan, that is either unreformed pagan, or has the syncretic folk traditions, which there's a few Islamic faiths that do have these syncretic folk traditions. So if I were to convert to one of those things, I would be losing all those good benefits. Especially the development. Especially that. But there is one faith that intrigues me. It's either this one of Marabautism, which what that is, as it says, syncretic folk traditions. It's the one you're looking for. If you wish to build the Oracle of Amun, if you can afford it. Now, what is this? With the rapid growth of the Trans-Saharan trade from the 9th century, Africans from the West and the Sahel came to increasing contact with Islamic teachings in order to ensure access to lucrative markets and help maintain the ongoing peace which ensured the trade of gold and salt thrived. Many rulers within West Africa have chosen to convert to Islam. Nevertheless, traditional beliefs in magical, healing, spirits, and divination persist among the new adherents. And there is an alternative, and that is Hamimism. So this is obviously way different from Sunni. I mean, it's still Sunni. That's why we consider them righteous, they consider us righteous. So it will not be condemned or frowned upon or anything like that. And plus, they're pluralist. And more virtues, because they are adaptive. And it has legalism, which is good. Grand pilgrimages, which once in every 5 years adherents can decide to recruit a marabot to serve at their high court. And courtesy to get an additional bonus successful completion of the pilgrimage. And the alternative is the more fundamentalist kind, but more equal. Now what this one is, formed from a folk Islamic uprising amongst the Gomara Berber tribes of the Rift Mountains, the Hamimati movement centered on a self-proclaimed prophet called Hamim ibn Ban. Okay, let me try that again. Hamim ibn Man Allah ibn Harir ibn Umar ibn Rafu ibn Azirwal ibn Majkasa. That's a long name. Hamim espoused a new religion that combined Islam with traditional Berber practices and beliefs, and claimed to receive divine revelation in the Berber language. Hamim even went to the extent of transcribing his vision to the new Berber language, Quran. Receiving widespread support amongst the Gomara tribe, whose belief in him would last for centuries after. Hamim's movement also featured prominent female leaders, including his auntie Tankit and his famously beautiful sister Dagu. The prominent role of women within the leadership was a callback to the powerful Berber queens of pre-Islamic North Africa, like Tin Hanan. Don't forget, she's like a mythical queen, a Tuareg queen. It's one of the other tribes, the Tuaregs. So you can convert to these, which are not too far from the total cost, thanks to the learning, difference in fervor, converting to a faith that does exist out there. Also, I'm cynical, and thanks to the Sogdian tradition of religion blending, which even if I convert, nobody's going to look at me negatively, because it's in our Sogdian culture that we do not judge or condemn those who have a different faith, because it's a cultural thing. No other culture in the game has that tradition. That's the reason why I decided to do that Sogdian series in this part of the world in the first place, because of its potential use. And now I am strongly considering converting either to the... Okay, these are for syncretic folk traditions influenced by Berbers, and we have been living amongst the Berbers. So we either go for a pluralistic one or a fundamentalist one, which this one has esotericism, struggle and submission, just like Sunni, and Taqiyya, which is basically conversion resistance and may sometimes reconvert back if this faith is led astray. But of course, as a Sogdian, that doesn't matter. So, and plus, what's the difference between fundamentalist and pluralist? No. Pluralist is adherents of other faiths who have opinion penalties of 50%. The conversion speed will be a lot slower. And counties of other faiths are less likely to join factions, and a reduced danger from heresies when low fervor. And winning a holy war will vassalize infidel rulers in the target area instead of seizing their land. Now over on the other side, which is the complete opposite, adherents of other faiths will have opinion penalties of 200 plus, except for Sunnis. And you convert a little faster. And counties of other faiths are more likely to join factions, increase the danger from heresies when at low fervor. And you can revoke landed titles from hostile and evil infidels without incurring tyranny. But of course, that's only outside of Sunnism. But regardless, even if you convert, you still get the stewardship of +3 benefits. That's the reason why I'm kind of divided. Do I want this or I want that? But actually, you did not look at the doctrines. Divorce is always allowed in Marodwatism. It's still holy matrimony. It's still criminal with same-sex relations and adultery, but it's only kinslaying. Close kinslaying is criminal now. Well, no. But witchcraft is accepted because, again, syncretic folk traditions. And over in this one, divorces must be approved, and there ain't no bastards here, but you have to legitimize a bastard in this faith. And for this one is kinslaying is shunned. Now down here, Marabautism, largely the same. Clerical gender is only men. And due to the equal doctrine, the clerical gender is either. So regardless of what faith we convert, the Liege is not going to condemn us. And neither is our fellow Sogdians. So I'm kind of divided. And we mentioned about the fervor. The fervor is kind of low right now because of those recent changes that's been going on. So clearly it has seen better days. But we've wasted enough time here, so now let's make it official. We are moving from Barca to Alexandria. This will be my new capital. And thanks to the previous owners, for the next 20 years, we have a jeweler's workshop investment, so holding taxes up. They have renovated the nilometers. Several nilometers in this region underwent important repair and maintenance work. Having reliable nilometers does not prevent a poor Nile flood, but they can ensure that local authorities have time to prepare and react to quickly minimize panic and fallout from such an inundation. So if the Nile flood is poor while this county modifier is active, this county will get mitigated bad Nile flood to offset some, but not all, of the negative modifiers for that year. It's set to expire later this summer. If I remember correctly, September is the start of the flooding season. I used to remember this in actually, that's a load of bull, Master. You never went to school. You were homeschooled. But I do remember in my old history books that Egypt had 3 seasons. There was the flooding season, the planting season and the harvest season. So it's August into September is the flooding season. Right now is the harvest season. But keep in mind, that's whenever you are in the Egyptian proper area, including Alexandria. It's affected by this too. Despite the fact it's not next to this big river, but a little canal that goes along with it. That's how Alexandria was found and all that. It's the canal, Alexander the Great was there, and all the other stuff, for those who know about the history of Alexandria. And thanks to the previous owner, the smuggling ring was arrested, which means faster control growth a little bit. Unfortunately, there's a zone of death around here. There is a small but sizable area in this region which has been ominously baptized as the zone of death by the locals, due to how it's supposedly full of dark energies. There are reports that many who drink the water or eat the food from this area immediately suffer strange and untreatable illnesses that cause them to die swiftly. So that hurts the development growth a bit. But the Nile flood now is normal, because they did in the Nile meters. And also this is where the Silk Road ends here. So we get more holding taxes. So yes, I'm the owner of that end of the Silk Road, and that part of the end of the Trans-Saharan trade. And now, time to do something. I know we're not advancing much in time because I want this episode to be a little more economic focused. Like, let's get down to some real business. And start building things, because in 3 months, already, I'm going to reset all those perks. So, focused on architect. And I want things to be built faster. Popular figurehead. Divided attention. That's why I did this. More domain limit. And then in 3 months' time, I will become an architect. Which makes it construction cost and time even lower. But in the meantime, I gotta go hunting. That's first. Excuse me, this patient. Hostile scheme power, not personal. Well, I know there's a couple of people that do not like me. You should look them up. Such as your vassals. Oh, why aren't you my steward? Oh, that's why, because you are also a chancellor. Is there anyone else good? Crud! Actually, we assigned him. Okay, let's do a little switch around here. So, we'll swap here. So, you'll be the steward, and you'll be fired, and then I will assign this man. Nope, this man as my chancellor. You could forget about Derna. Start working on Alexandria. I want this fully in control. And what else? Do we have a seneschal? Yes. And it's... You fought very well. You're 52. You'll be fine. How about you be my personal champion? I mean, I'm just gonna... The monthly income is gonna go up no matter what, alright? Helps me with the prestige, and I'm not a fighter, so you can take my place in some duels. We don't have any good physicians anymore. Oh, and by the way, since I live in Alexandria now, I might as well just say that this is my new primary title. Just to reflect on this change. And plenty of prisoners gonna be ransomed. So this is just for starters. And because, you know, I'm about to go hunting. Stress is, I'm still gonna get the mental breakdown due to said stress no matter what, so. See what happens. Lately, I'm constantly being distracted by vivacious thoughts and erotic fantasies. With all the hardships of my everyday life, it's all too easy to lose myself in daydreams and forget about reality. These desires are clearly interfering in my life. What should I do about them? A what? Organized Christian faith. So, oh, that's the Pelican faith. That's what that is. Gnostics. I wouldn't do that if I were you. Cousin. Hurts my stewardship. Grr! I will bite my lip and try to stay focused. But your fertility is lowered. My cousin, Nazila, is the first to say it. The flighty heart is hard to distinguish from the surroundings, but it's observing us through the undergrowth. I lock eyes with the animal, and as if it could sense my attention for it, suddenly takes off. We ride. One more. And you got your money. It'll be next year, then the Silk Road will be back on, and then we're going to start making a lot more income as we get this all under control again. And of course, we are the owners of the ruins of the Lighthouse of Alexandria. So the building constructs cost and time. And as the holder of this holding, that increases the renown a little bit. But all you need is the money. But still. We followed a heart on a flight through the ravine. Suddenly, a horse loses its footing and sends her in the ground, screaming. It's nothing fatal, but she's twisting in pain. We press on. I don't care about my cousin. She's a bleeder. She could die if I care. Hold on. Every county owned in the Nile Valley. This is the Nile Valley. This is the outline of it. So it affects this area, as you see here, including Alexandria. So the flooding is normal this year. That's from the Nile meter report. As Hart disappears into the oases, I know that the quarry is lost. It's regrettable that Nazila had to be injured over an escaped Hart, but such risks are part of the drill. Next time we'll get it. Just you wait. Now I'm an architect. There we go. Now you get to hold every single county. I was thinking about giving some away, but not anymore. This was occupied and so was this, but see what was never occupied. And now it costs 900 gold, now that I'm an architect. And as for the ruins, here, now it's 50, so that's much more manageable. And I would love to upgrade this. And if you upgrade this, you get the taxes. Plenty of taxes. Oh, I like that. But still, we got a lot more work to do. And particularly, raid your neighbors. because we need to get any kind of income by any means. Hunt this drawing to an end. I mount the horse to leave the oasis behind as the light fades from the sky. Everything that could go wrong seemed to do so, but there were silver linings to be found. We returned home in disappointment. Now, let's have a feast. This is just to reduce the stress here. And if it's still not enough, then I'm going to have to visit the Fountain of the Sun for the first time ever. Guests are gathered in the great hall, lords and ladies from near and far reaches around. The mood is bright, and the spirits are high as the feast begins. Welcome, friends. Those that didn't come? Hell, my wife didn't even come. The heck. But the Sultan is here. Tastefully insulted. As plate after plate of fruit is brought into the great hall, an unmistakable smell reaches me. I smile. That's my faithful vassal, Starosta Michoran. Is sensitive to almond. Something I forgot to tell the cook. I bid you all welcome, and I pray that you will find the food to your liking. He actually visited the Fountain of the Sun. Get a weak cook on him. His face, as I savor for the food, is definitely to my liking. I'm thinking about going for this. Get any money by any means. I'm not going to switch to wall focus. You know, after eating next to each other a while, I must have said something particularly intelligent because Sultan Jalaluddin complimented me on how clever I was. In response, I smiled intelligently back to my fellow scholar before I get occupied with the grease running down my chin. I do say some clever things at times. It's not hubris if it's true. Less stress gain. Just what I need. What started as an ordinary feast became an exceptional one thanks to the presence of Mitrophone. We spoke all evening about all manner of subjects, and as the things have it seemed we have a lot in common. I had such a good time with him. What a good evening. With everyone headed for their respective homes, I'm proud to say that the feast was a success. I have my wife Utafa, who wasn't here, to thank for much success. I feel nothing but gratitude as if he was guest off. I'm still giving her credit. It's almost like says, oh, no. Think about your role-playing self. She didn't come to my feast, but I have to thank my wife. Because if I don't thank her, she'll beat me up. Because I don't have the prowess skill like she does. She dominates me, you know. Now, time to save up my money, and we gotta go to the Sewa Oasis over there. All of this will soon be back under full control, increasing attacks bit by bit. There we go, now you finally got it. That slight increase due to this. I mean, I'll build it in the future, but just take advantage of the fact that if you're going to be building something, I would like to build a trade port here. Because due to the ruins of the lighthouse of Alexandria, we're just using the parts of what was left of that lighthouse to build something here. But not right now, because I got to go visit. And soon, later this year, on September 11th, my real-life birthday, the Silk Road is active again. Curse of death's fallen upon my court. A case of smallpox discovered. The unlucky victim is Firuz, one of my prisoners. The taint possesses life's dangerous soul. Reigns afflicted. No life at court is safe. search for a physician. Go look for him. Or just isolate him. By isolate, you mean he's about to die. See? Near death. Just hopefully he dies and no one else gets it. Otherwise, I'm really going to call for a court physician. Wait a minute. Who treated him? I don't have a physician. That's my daughter. Turan. There. Down in my dungeons and hope that no one else got the smallpox. You know what? Get the physician. I don't care how good at you are not at it. Good you are not at. What the are you saying? I gotta get out of this place, so I gotta go visit the Fountain of the Sun. The western deserts are home to several oases, some of which are hosts of popular springs. The most famous of these is the Fountain of the Sun in Silla, which is close to territory I control. The spring is said to have healing properties. I will set aside a day to visit the famed Fountain of the Sun, potentially losing some stress. The context. The Fountain of the Sun is a famous spring in Siwa, and was mentioned by ancient sources as Herodotus. Local folklore associates with Cleopatra, who supposedly visited often during her reign. The veracity of this claim is questionable, and is probably exaggerated to attract modern tourists. To the fountain. I have made arrangements to visit the Fountain of the Sun in Siwa. Even in ancient times, Herodotus praised its seemingly legendary ability to heal visitors. The local elders are more than happy to welcome me into town, as it's a great honor for them. However, one question remains. Should I come there privately, or should this be a public affair? If I do the former, the townspeople will not agree to come there while I'm there. If I do the latter, I will get to mingle with the locals. I think I would prefer to visit the springs privately in peace, because you will relax more, lose more stress, have less opportunities to improve relations with the locals. In actuality, I just want to get away from the smallpox. I'm drinking my water. At last, the day has come. I arrive at the Fountain of the Sun in Siwa. I spend a couple of hours relaxing there, soaking myself in the waters and hoping they would rejuvenate my health. As the day goes by, it is soon time for me to go. I leave the springs refreshed and feeling like a new person. Hope to be back soon. Wow! Thanks to me being calm, there goes nearly all my stress. And a medium health boost. So, we spent time at the famed Fountain of the Sun, and spent enjoying themselves spring waters, forgetting all their worries and fears. Should do this more often, if you can afford it. Now we got very good income. It's going to be more better when we have the Silk Road active again in Alexandria. First wave of fever and vomiting. I desperately hope it was nothing worse than swelling sickness. I did get a little better. Rose from my bed, turned to my duties for a week. All was well until I noticed the first red spots on my mouth. Indeed, these are sure sign of smallpox. Very dangerous if left untreated. Oh dear. Is this how this is going to end? If something happens to Gurak, I mean, he's into diplomacy education, which is something I do want. Please take care of my son. But at least he'll get everything, but just do no more than what is necessary. Abdul Hassan brought a croaking bucket in my chambers and told me to expose my upper body. He grabbed the toad, got it with deft hands, and proceeded to place the still twitching carcass on my chest. He continued until the bucket was empty and my torso was covered. The toad treatment just turned out what just... God dang it, I'm stammering because of the smallpox. Excellent work anyways. Smallpox isn't going to be around forever, but it's enough. So, the timing of visiting that oasis there, thanks to the medium help. Had I not visited there, I would have caught the smallpox and died right then and there. And this effect will still stick with you. So I will live, hopefully. But unfortunately, there goes the skills. So regarding my child's tutelage, since I care about him, improves education outcomes. So Ako Maztak, despite the fact we don't see each other eye to eye, but you're good at this. So I'm giving you this position. Oh, Gurak. There's something important you must know. If you want to study the languages here locally, Basque, Russian, Andalusian. Ah, there it is, Andalusian. You can learn Arabic here. It's a pretty important language in these parts. Oh no, not my daughter. Just be cautious. Help is poor. It's spreading. Please don't let it get Gurak. Well, actually, even if he does get it, I think there's a good chance he'll survive it. He's a strong boy. There can't be any doubt. Too bad there's no other way to improve the health other than what you have now. Artavan's got smallpox. And he's about to die. Nazila, my seneschal, has it too. Oh god. Gurak is next. I just knew it. Abdul Hassan, do your best to treat it. And just when it got bad from worse, for this year, overflooding. This hurts the holding tax around here and the control, so this is going to slow the progress a little. So Jaden, so he's doing his treatment, so he's starting to get used to how to treat the smallpox. While I still wait for myself to be cured. Escaping Azrael. Yeah. While the scars might remain, both my skin on now my mind, it seems like the affliction has left my body. I will survive. There is still time. Glory to Allah, I am well. Now I am immune to smallpox, and that's the beauty of it. Once you have it, and then you can never get it again for the rest of your life. As I said, had I not visited Siwa, I would have died. I would have died right then and there. Tehran. Yes. Cultures discovered months now. Which matters little except for the small Sogdian minority that I imported to Barca. And I got the skills back, therefore, we're back. But I'm not going to start raiding until everybody is cured. Because I'm concerned about the rest of my Faris. So we can start raiding. It doesn't appear that the smallpox outbreak's been getting to the others yet. It didn't get Gurak. You can stop now. Better sway somebody else. Such as this man. He's doing fine, but he does have ambitions in him. New day. This outbreak of smallpox which has ravaged my court is finally over. Its victims have either all recovered or departed from this world. My Mufti, Abdul Hassan, ensures me that all the bodies have been properly disposed of and that the threat is completely gone. Finally, we are saved. Only one victim died, and that was what we say in modern terms, patient zero. Firuz. Everyone else fell ill, but they all recovered. So finally, we are safe. And don't forget about me. I survived smallpox too. It could have been worse. But now, let's go raiding. As soon as their little conflict ends of what they're doing up there. And I wonder what these guys are up to. Not at war, so therefore can't raid. Raiding them is doable, but not recommended. Because you would be engaging in combat. And you have to be completely insane to raid the lands of the Abbasids. So the logical place to raid is there and Aghlabid territory. This has some loot, but it's not recommended to take them on. And I don't think we have any good raiders anymore. Look, just for example. Check the commanders of the day. Actually, we do have one. Okay. Okay, thank you. We just wanted to know. Too lazy to look up the traits anyway. In 20 months, we will get this. You know what? Hey, Sultan, I got something for you. Here's a bit of renown from me. And now, in 10 months' time, we will unlock the next cultural, no, dynasty legacy. Ah, he has mercenaries. Looks like it ain't gonna go well for you. You know what? We should have taken heed of the zone of death. Maybe that's where the smallpox came from. But it started in a prison. So what you're saying doesn't make sense. Anyways, build a trade port here. It helps with the development growth. Since you're up there, and the owner of that gets a bit of renown, you're not too far from the pyramids. This also gives you that. And down there in Al-Fayoum is also important, because it is a home to the Egyptian Textile Manufacturing Center. That will add more taxes to it. Now the flood is low. Last year was overflowing, now it's too damn low. Here's the problem. I do not have this thing that the Egyptians have. The unlock the decision to build nilometers. That's the reason why in the later part of the series that I want to form a hybrid culture with the Egyptians and get their tradition, knowing we'll be living here for a long time. It's our home now, and you're gonna have to accept it. Request divorce? Huh? Dear Devon, my marriage to Captain Faris is clearly not blessed by Allah. Will you grant me a divorce? Uncle! Uncle, hey! I remember you. Yeah. We beat you. And you're too far away to interact because it says Khorasani band, so therefore he lives in Ghazna. That's in Afghanistan. And it's a wonder how you asked me for a divorce. It's a mercenary company. So successions all tells will be given to a successor who is generally a knight with the highest martial skills. That doesn't even matter. But for the sake of close family, I respectfully decline on your divorce request. It's a wonder how they asked me, the house head, and you have been reduced to a mercenary because you just want to make money. I mean, after all, we're Sogdians. We are caravaniers, so they just wander. An inconvenient bush. I tripped and fell into a bush while taking a walk. If that weren't bad enough, my clothes got tangled in the bush. After my guard successfully pulled me out of the bush, I had a number of scratches all over myself, and parts of my clothes had small holes in them. Am I having another bad day again? Two dukes. Two dukes. Would that be me and... Oh, wait a minute. A mercenary company. Which, by the way, too far away for any contact. And since we have advanced further into Egypt, now we have contact of other mercenary bands that you can hire. It's kind of too bad we can't get European mercenaries. I would have loved those Slavic mercenaries due to interactions of the Muslim world with the Sekliba and all that, but no, it's not a thing for us. But down here, there's plenty. But I'm still also kind of interested to convert to a new faith, which is just to go along with our interests. And now, the most important part. Gold and salt. The main taxes of the same faith will go up a bit more. Decision to network with Trans-Saharan merchants can be taken, and a decision to establish the Sigil Masa mints can be taken to improve Sigil Masa's prosperity, which we're too far away from Sigil Masa's, which that doesn't even matter. So yes, that option is there. Even if you live in Egypt, you can take that. So, we need to raise a little bit more money. And that's going to be the last time I'm going to spend before I start saving up on something like, restoring this lighthouse. And plus, it's only for this county alone. Although I may make an improvement on that here. With tax income and all that. So, we'll establish a network with them soon. So I guess the other Duke title is technically the mercenary company that my uncle has. Now, golden obligations. Hey, Mitrovan, you owe me some money. Then I had a hook on you, or was that the other guy? Could have sworn I thought there was another character. Yipe. If she's gonna be that kind of person, go for the one that knows best. Cynical just like me. Everybody's a cynic. Everybody's a critic. And now, let's do this. Many merchants travel along the Trans-Saharan trade routes in our territories. Should we take the time to network with them? Building fruitful relationships with interested, ambitious merchants can benefit us both. You will gain networking with Trans-Saharan merchants for 5 years, which gives you a little bit of diplomacy and stewardship. There's a high chance that a Trans-Saharan merchant will spawn in your court and offer you a business deal in the next 5 years, as long as that character modifier lasts, or until the merchant spawns. This chance varies depending on your traits, skills, and other factors. So, let's remind you people, because I said this back in episode 1 or 2 or whatever. So, if you own a territory in North Africa or the Sahel region, roughly the northern half of West Africa, there's a chance of a Trans-Saharan merchant will spawn in your court every now and then. You could choose to make use of their connections, which will grant you the character modifier to boosting your income as well as granting other bonuses, depending on which cultural or ethnic group they come from, either Berber, Arab, West African, or Jewish. You could get these bonuses even if you don't not invite them to court. A Trans-Saharan dynasty track has a couple of dynasty likes to improve this mechanic. First one on the track, Ships of the Desert, which we have just increases the events of these events trigger, which as of this episode, that's yet to happen. Of this series, I should say. The third, which would be second technically, Gold and Salt unlocks the decision to network with the transfer merchants, which increases the chance of these events triggering even more for a short duration of time, while providing other economic bonuses. Thank you for helping me getting rid of all that stress. And now some historical context. Before we talk about this. Since ancient times, trade routes have crisscrossed the Sahara Desert, connecting the Mediterranean with the Sahel. In late antiquity, the increased use of camels and the arrival of Islam in this region spurred further growth of these trade networks. Two of the most prized goods exchanged along these routes were gold and salt, though merchants also traded other things like slaves and ivory. So it is in North Africa, so therefore Egypt is part of North Africa. At least one of these is you have not taken this decision yet. And Dynasty has unlocked the legacy of Syncretism, which is that third tradition. No, god dang it. It's called Legacy. So we should save up on that and go for this, which says you can take it more than once, or you can do it as much as you like, adding more prosperity. And these last two ones are going to be unnecessary to us because of one that's relevant to Sijomasa. So, now, the Traveler's Tale. A traveler has offered us to tell us of the distant lands whence claims to be eternal. Ladies and gentlemen, I left my village as a youth with my parents, spice merchants bound for Sicily. However, a terrible storm blew our small ship off course and left me stranded, alone and bereft, on strange shores. I walked for days, and I found my way into Rome. Oh, how the mighty have fallen! The city's glorious edifices were hollowed out, with sheep grazing on weeds on the steps of the old forum. I caught the eye one of the Pope's mistresses, but dared not to risk such lofty jealousy. By one of my Pope's mistresses, you mean one of those Sogdian women that my grandfather once sent. So, continue your story. Okay, so I moved further north, into the lands of the golden-haired barbarians. And further still, where water turns to ice, the sun never rises, and women stand twice the size of their menfolk. The attendants remain captivated by increasingly preposterous adventures. What wondrous tale! So there you go. Networking with Trans-Saharan merchants. For the next 5 years, and remember, once you've taken it, you can't take it again. So it's basically once in a lifetime. And I wanted to take advantage of this now. Because I'm in my 40s. And so, basically you gotta do that when the time is right. Until you have that next Dynasty Legacy where you can do it as much as you like. Done with that stupid little war of yours? Well, it's time to raid. And we have our man of the job. Uh-oh, that's Byzantium. Which means you have to be downright insane to fight against them. They also have Greek fire. My goodness. Cause gets heavy infantry, spearmen, and skirmishers, but they're a very small number. This area's been raided recently, unfortunately. Hey, what if I help you out on that? I mean, it's kind of too late at this point. I mean, he's not your ally, so it doesn't matter. Now flood's normal again. So basically, without that Egyptian tradition of children of the Nile, I am basically at the mercy of the Nile, of what it does to Alexandria. Masonic dealings. The Guild of Stonemasons has established itself in Barca. Having dedicated craftsmen in my processors could help the region flourish. Yipe. 20 years. Don't want to have that. You know what, I'll strike the deal with the Chief Mason. No chance of an unfortunate deal. So it's either a great deal or a fair deal. Deal or no deal. After a lengthy audience, he'll budge no further. For a lower price, it cannot be done. I want that money, so sure I could find cheaper masons somewhere else. Do you care about any of them? No? Actually, this man might be of some use. Actually, I want him. Well, as soon as he gets to friendly territory, he'll be in a dungeon, and then I'll recruit him from there. So Syracuse takes control of this, which means they do have the connection of the sea this way. Actually, no, they're not here for this. The objective is this one, not that one. It's a claimant, not a holy war. Don't get too worked up about it, but you're still going to raid there anyways. Hopefully there better be somebody important in there. Capture a guest. Frozen grief. Oh, that doesn't matter to me. Alright, head back to friendly territory. 88 gold, that's very good. And there's this man that I'm interested in recruiting. You. Come here. Yeah, might as well. Just let her die. I got nothing. Are they at war of any capacity? No. So therefore we can't raid them. So we raided on a limited scale. But there's so many buildings we can improve upon. This is for levy enforcement rate. This is for tax and development growth. Because we want to continue the development growth here in Alexandria. I mean, I want all of this done. And you say it's going to take 10 months? Well, for once I say increase the development, and this will increase the construction time. I want it built, and I want it now. Plus, it speeds up a little bit of that progress. If it wasn't for that damn zone of death. Been a while, huh? Count by marriage. Seven, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And now, from fruit orchards to berry groves. And from there, or actually, you should save it for the improvement of the mud brick towers. The child was not meant to be. She shows me it's a way of life, but her hand lingers on her belly. Oh gosh. I'm sorry. Very sorry. Then we'll build tower houses, and then after that, and then we will work on restoring this lighthouse. Still feeling fine. Have you learned Arabic yet? Because it's what we've been trying to teach you. He's become ambitious. I like that. You taught him to be ambitious. So you're probably either going to give him stubborn or forgiving. My son has learned the Arabic language. Thank you very, very much. Check again. Because it doesn't say. Maybe he dropped it already? Oh. Oh gosh. I stressed him out. I'm saying that because, you know, learning language does take a bit of stress and neither qualified. So he doesn't get as much income, but it helps him get more prestige. Whatever works with him. But after all, you don't live in a low income area anymore. You have all these holdings, and then soon this will be under full control and everything will be grand. Oh yeah, the ally. Which, to be honest, if I want more income, I'm still kind of interested in those lands. One with the textile manufacturing center, and the other, the pyramids. Kind of interested in that. One last building. Tower houses, and then save up to 150 gold to get that vassal tax contribution. Every little bit helps. And don't worry, we'll get to you too soon. It seems we took over Alexandria at an excellent time. Came in at a very good time with all the holding taxes and such. Use all that wealth. I would be getting a lot more wealth if whenever these guys are at war with somebody. Unless we start looking for secrets. Demand payment if you want quick cash. 12 months, or do it here locally in the Sultan's court, which takes about 7 months. Actually, no. His capital is over there, remember? He lives out in the desert, not the Nile anymore. Because he's the one that dominates the Nile. Again, I just feel content with what we have. There, it's complete. And for now, just try to collect some taxes to gain additional income so we could start raising our funds to restore the lighthouse. Accusations of sorcery. Blood-stained cloth, crow's feathers, strange smelling concoctions. This is the evidence presented to me by a group of villagers from Siwa as proof that Crusader has been practicing sorcery in his hut in the outskirts of the village. The villagers claim that his evil works must be their cause of their sick animals calling for his execution. Well, I do need the stewardship skills, lifestyle experience up as I can, so the evidence circumstantial. Release him. They'll be alright. I'm a popular figurehead in this area. Now, perhaps I should start working on buildings that relates to the oasis. Don't think it's a good idea to try to build more defenses on an already defensible place. I could see this as being an economically intensive area. A good place for income. When the going gets tough and all that. Not till the early medieval era you get to construct duchy buildings. My mother died. Didn't get stressed out about it. Take a drink. Nothing. Okay. So let's try the Aglabit Court. Aglabit. Yeah, you got it correctly. Regarding pronunciation. Alexandria under full control. Now do it for Siwa. My son has learned the Arabic language, and he's become greedy. So he has been prone to stress, but he'll get more money whenever he's stressed out. And this can help relieve it. This is because of him being ambitious and all that. What's going on? Secret troops reach Leyte. My vassal Ismail's committed sodomy together with his lover Azam. This cannot be what God intended. Oh. Not just an adulterer, but a sodomite. Guards. Time to pay up. This is your punishment. Give me the money. And as for you... we'll just release you. I mean, he's from over there. I could have recruited him, but I think that would be very much a bad idea. She was my steward, you know. But wait for it. He'll be coming back. Because I like to give him his old post back. Now listen, you may be a sodomite, but of course, it's very condemnable in Islam. But for me, I'm a cynic person. I'm a bit cynical, so I'm just saying, just give me the money and we'll let you go, and you'll get back to your original job. All right? My Sultan, what he would have done is him being zealous and just. I think he would have definitely condemned it. But for me, I'm different. Yes, I've gone to the Hajj before, but I'm rather cynical. Just continue to raise the funds. Now remember, the Lighthouse of Alexandria, sometimes called the Pharos of Alexandria, was a lighthouse built by the Ptolemaic kingdom during the reign of Ptolemy Philadelphus, which was from 280 to 247 BC, which has been estimated to be at least 100 meters in overall height, one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world. For many centuries, it was one of the tallest man-made structures in the world. Despite its splendors, the lighthouse was partially cracked and damaged by earthquakes in 796 and 951, followed by a structural collapse of the earthquake in 956, and then again 1303 and 1323. The ruined structure was then used as building materials for its construction and use in nearby fortifications. However, some planning, a great many materials, and no small amount of coin could be possible for the lighthouse to be restored to its former glory. Well, when we came in, it was in ruins. And we're saying it for the sake of this series. When we came in here, it was in ruins, and we already used some of the building materials, and so we decide that under my rule, we ought to get this thing rebuilt. Detailed ledgers is another. If we have any Republican vassals. I mean, we don't have republics. You keep learning that. There! Now you finally know Arabic. What was the problem with you? But regardless, Gurak. Now, him being greedy would be his slight downfall, but hopefully he'll get a good diplomatic education coming from her. If not, there's room for improvement. Known for my dedication to faith. 46 years old, still feeling fine. Parvati's come of age, which she's a flamboyant trickster. Gotta be careful with her. She's callous. A nose for profit. While out on a leisurely stroll, the cry of a particular merchant stands out from the regular hustle and bustle of the street. Greetings, my lord. I have an exquisite assortment of wares, if my lord has gone. My companion, Abdul Hassan, stops dead in his tracks, head cocked and intently staring at something in the merchant's stall. He leans in and confides with the houseboys. That bauble over there. This is a spinning image of a piece from a ceremonious reliquary. It would be wise to acquire such a trinket. You know what? Your words sound wise to me, Abdul-Hassan, so I had to opt for the suggested trinket. 44% chance that I would strike a real bargain, 44% chance that I'd be a decent negotiator, which I still have to spend, while gaining a little bit of stewardship lifestyle, or it wasn't a great deal after all, 11% that you'd be spending all that money. Successful haggle. Ha-ha! My haggling skills proved to be excellent. Yes, and I get to save my money, which is, again, this is for the Lighthouse Fund. And this is the Terracotta Toy Fund. This warrant service tells the tale of a once beloved toy. This is what he was looking for. While performing my duties, on his son, uncovered a cigarette held by the Amir of Medja. In the ways he seeks pleasure is revolting for any decent man to even think of, yet he's not merely willing, but eager. It feels so unnatural and sickening. No, it is unnatural and sickening, an offense against Allah. Servant, fetch me a bucket before I... Ugh. And you are an amputee. So, a deviant secret. He's got plenty of money, a landed character, so finally blackmail this son of a beeswax. And since he's arrogant, if he wants to protect that secret so bad, I'm gonna expose it, and he is gonna put you in prison because it's shunned. No, okay, it's shunned, but it's not criminal. It's not a criminal offense for having deviancy. Got him. Okay. Pay up. 80 gold. Alright. 500. And we got... Let me see. 50 more left. I totally forgot about her. What you should be doing is... Too far away to interact now. Ouch. One more month, and I'm going to be spending all of my fortune to get this lighthouse rebuilt. At the same time, increase the control here. Oh, just one more month, please. Oh, you idiot. But remember, we still have an alliance, so he can't He will not break that alliance. He ain't gonna do something like that. No way, no how. So don't get too worked up. Alright, let's get to work. Remember, it'll take 3 years, and once it's completed, you'll have all these benefits. So for the next great years, in 3 years. And let's increase this progress a little. So now, it will take 14 months. And at the same time, we increase the development level of Alexandria by then. So see you on July 6th next year. And again, I'm still considering converting to another faith of Islam, of either Mahbatism or Mahometism. But then again, equal seems attractive because it does enable the. Hold on there. Male dominator gives you male only and male preference, but here, I mean, I still would want male preference, but equal sounds a little nice. But the only issue with that is they're fundamentalists. Which makes, you know, increased danger from heresies popping up, especially in our area. But we would have syncretic folk traditions, which is the one I'm attracted to the most. Same goes for this one. But the difference between the sins and all that, minor difference. It's just arbitrary is considered a sin in Marxism. It is not. But they view that as such. Witchcraft is accepted. Criminal kinslaying. But regardless, it's all Sunni. All the Sunni faiths that exist, right? That means they would have the same head of faith. That's Shia. This is Sunni. Sunni. That's Zandaka, which is consider them righteous, but they consider us hostile. They do acknowledge their head of the faith, like that, like this. Nope, 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 nope. Okay, so you're saying even if they do exist, they do acknowledge the head of faith. But if I go for this, we can't work with that. So what you mean by that is, it's like it's still lay clergy. Well, compare that, more compare and contrast. It's lay clergy. And this is lay clergy. Okay. Another deviant? What's up with these deviants? Not interested. So, if there's a route that I would take, I'd probably take, let me see. But remember, the reason why for this, because that equal doctrine thing seems rather attractive. And, subsequently, plus the fervor is still low, so take it while you can. But you'll lose the holy site's benefits, and in return, so you're missing them. So just go on a pilgrimage and then you'll get it. You know what? A pilgrimage sounds like a right idea now. You've undergone a Hajj once, but you could still go on a pilgrimage somewhere. You got the money. A Sunni pilgrimage. Okay, let's go to Al-Quds, which is Jerusalem, also known as. So once I get back here, I better see that complete lighthouse. As I prepare for my journey, I will travel safely under protection of Allah. Though I will not be gone for long, I pray for the well-being of the realm in my absence. We just needed some extra piety, so that way the case is stronger to convert for that faith for a completely different reason. But it's just mainly for syncretic folk religions thing. Because of this idea to spend 900 gold for this. And then we stay with that faith so you can get the monthly lifestyle experience and bit of renown, more taxes, and the oasis would bloom. Now, among my fellow pilgrims, there's a man who preaches compassion and fellowship till he reaches the topic of heathens. One evening around the campfire, he loudly declares them to be abominable monsters in the eyes of Allah, deviants and child murderers all. Most people avert their eyes when it looks at him. Tonight was not good. Do you not agree, or Shimane? They're not all that bad. Again, the cynic in me of this character would say that. They're not all bad. I mean, I'm about to leave Orthodox Zionism in favor of something else because of our influence with the Berbers. With the Trans-Saharan trade and everything. And we wanted something to, you know, a volley here, body and soul at the great mosque of Al-Quds. As the Allah offers me blessings, I reflect on everything I had a habit for Allah to bring me here at this moment in time. A whole lot of walking. What's important is that I am seen and heard here. Now, is it enough? Almost. Should be doing some pious things. Like celebrate the Saded festival. My journey's been a long one, but I finally come home again. While much remains the same, something has changed in how the imams and lamas treat me. I've undergone the journey of a holy man, and they insist has changed something about me where I can see myself now. It's good to be home. Yeah. And now the lighthouse is complete. After great expense, the lighthouse of Alexandria has been restored. Reinforced to lessen the impact of earthquakes, this grand structure once more guides ships into the ports of Alexandria and stands as a testament to the splendor of its holder. It now stands worthy of the title of one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world. Now we get even more holding taxes and the tax of the older here, and more development growth. Yes, more so now. While we still get to keep the monthly renown. Now, Gurak. With sufficient tutelage, even a child's with little natural inclination towards diplomatic influence, such as Gurak, can come truly understand. With an excellent grasp of all matters of etiquette, and understanding of all kinds of entertainment, and the eloquence to go with it, he will have little trouble navigating life at court. Charismatic negotiator. Initially, his diplomacy is poor. Now, is average. A little stressed, but he'll manage. He's a strong one and ready to serve in my army. It'll do whenever you're at conflict with somebody. We'll end the episode very soon. Okay. Stop. Syria's about to be under full control, and Salam, you're next. now it's time to raise the funds for the building of the Oracle of Amun, which will happen in the next episode, along with the conversion, leaving al-Sunnah in favor of either Malbautism, which of course you need 39 left for now, or the more fundamentalist faith with equality, which you can convert to that right now, which is slightly cheaper. But I would rather wait a little. Not to mention it's happening to me in my relative old age. Keep looking. Wonder what they're up to over there. Too many alliances? This is scary to see. Oh gosh, Sahara has expanded upwards. Again, those tribal levies are theirs. Amazonian. Your name shall be Upach. You know, it's rather tempting that we should fight the next two wars just to, get these two lands connected, and we will appoint Berbers, because I don't want to hold those territories, and I ain't giving that to my children. Oh, actually, we can hold the duchy. It's just we need a... As tempting as it is. But still. It's just, there's many more ideas that would be implemented in the next few episodes. Especially with a conversion to a new faith, which is just we're going for more syncretic folk traditions. That sort of thing. But it's still viewed as righteous, so the Sultan won't judge us. And neither does anybody else. Not even those of my culture. And sooner or later, I'm going to start using my steward to promote... promote cultural acceptance. So every little bit helps. You know what, let's end the episode with this. While my court celebrates the Sogdian festival of Nowruz every year, my duties as the Shuani often make it difficult for me to participate in the festivities. With the equinox approaching and my realm in a prosperous and stable state, I wonder if I should take some extra time this year to get out of the castle and get into the holiday spirit. Oh! That much gold! Well, here's your piety gain that you wanted. But I will say, focus on the traditional Hatsan ritual of my family. See, another reason why I said, feels just like at home. We celebrate Nowruz. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, we will end this series. Not the series, god dang, it's too early for that. This is an excellent series so far, and it's still relatively early. Very fascinating series so far. So now, in the next episode, we'll be raising our funds. So we will build an Oracle of Amun, and along with that, the conversion to a new, different Islamic faith that is related to Sunnism, but more influenced by those Berbers that we've been living amongst them for a long time, just to have more syncretic folk traditions. Because you have to have at least one of these. And when it's complete, in 3 years' time, more development, more taxes, a little bit of renown, and some monthly lifestyle experience. In area Jafara, that lies between two small villages, and is half a day's journey from one end to the other, has been notoriously known in the folklore as the Zone of Death. Among other unflattering names, it is said that there are dark energies in this area that cause many unfortunate incidents. For instance, there are stories of unweary travelers passing through who drink the water or eat the food from it, only to be cursed with sickness unrecognizable to our doctors to cause them to die 2 weeks later. Smallpox. Many of us outsiders paid little heed to such stories, as there are plenty of mysterious and dangerous places around the world, after all. But the rumors are now spreading, and even some merchants from far avoid that area. I question where it's really cursed, but who knows? Who knows? But I could tell you this, so as much as I like to raid, but I feel that I think it would be proper now to conquer this area and that too. So that means I will acquire yet another duchy tiered title. But it's possible I may have to give it away, possibly give it to Gurak. So that way he'll have some experience to go along with that. Maybe learn Berber. As my health is poor now, which means I could drop at any time. So probably a little bit of prestige just to get him started by granting him a title that we'll acquire in the near future. So, as we said before, in the next episode of the remaining years, which means he will not live up to 60. That in the next episode, we will be saving our money, spend little and not at all, and don't spend too much, so we can raise the funds for the Oracle of Amun construction. And also in the next episode, we will be leaving this branch of Islam despite the benefits it gives us, but we're only doing this for the sake of income, development, and renown for our dynasty, so we can go for the next thing of the dynasty legacy far down the line in this series, for the legacy of syncretism, which lowers the faith conversion cost, which means if you want to, you can always go back. But, so again, we must choose which of the two Sunni, Berber, syncretic folk faiths that we should choose. Marabotism or Hamimism? Which of the two is to be decided? And we'll answer that question in the next episode. Until then, so long for now.